Hey everyone, Shawn here from Chordistry.com. Today I'm going to show you how to play Wilder Mind by Mumford & Sons. So this one's going to be just a nice, easy acoustic guitar kind of song. We're just doing some basic open chord shapes in a nice, easy strum pattern. The only interesting parts we have are how the different sections are organized. The chorus has a 6-measure group, and then in the second verse we're going to abruptly cut off the end, and it's really kind of jarring. So we'll talk about all those different things, all the chords, all the strum patterns, all the chord progressions is all going to be in this lesson. Now, if you check the description, you're going to find a link to the chord chart. You'll also find down there a link to the playthrough video over on Patreon. And you might want to sign up for my newsletter too, because you'll get a free 3-part mini course on how to switch chords faster if you do. All right, so we're going to start with the chords today. If you have the chords down, you can skip over this part by clicking right here or in the description. So the chords we're going to use in this song are F major, A minor, G major, G suspended fourth. We're also going to see C major and D minor. Okay, F major. Let's start with that chord. To make an easy F, you do this. Put your first finger behind fret 1 of the B string, your second finger behind fret 2 of the G string, your fourth finger behind fret 3 of the D string, and your third finger behind fret 3 of the A string. If you play just those 4 notes, that's a nice easy way of playing an F major. And if you wrap your thumb over the top, you can mute the low E string, and if you let your first finger lean back a little, you can mute the high E string. And then you can just strum all 6 strings and only hear those 4 in the middle. F major. Awesome. A minor goes like this. Your first finger is behind fret 1 of the B string, your second finger is behind fret 2 of the D string, and your third finger is behind fret 2 of the G string. All right? Strum the A to high E strings. And the same thing goes with this A minor. You can wrap your thumb over the top to mute the low E string, and then strum all 6 strings. G major goes like this. Your first finger goes behind fret 2 of the A string, your second finger goes behind fret 3 of the low E string, and your third finger goes behind fret 3 of the high E string. Strum all 6 strings. G suspended fourth goes like this. Your first finger goes behind fret 1 of the B string. Your third finger goes behind fret 3 of the low E string, and your fourth finger goes behind fret 3 of the A string. Now for this chord, you want to strum all the strings except the high E. Okay, we don't want that. That's a different chord. So just play up until the B string, and that's your G suspended fourth chord. C major goes like this. Your first finger goes behind fret 1 of the B string, your second finger goes behind fret 2 of the D string, and your third finger goes behind fret 3 of the A string. Strum the A to high E strings, and that's a C major. Now for this chord, you have some options for muting the low E string. You can either do the thumb over the top, or if you can, use the tip of your third finger to gently touch the low E string. That way you can leave some more room for your other fingers. This is kind of tight, so if you can drop your thumb down and use your third finger to mute that low E string, it's going to be a really easy way of getting a clean sounding C chord. Nice. D minor is up next. D minor goes like this. Your first finger goes behind fret 1 of the high E string, your second finger goes behind fret 2 of the G string, and then either your third or fourth finger, whatever works best for you, goes behind fret 3 of the B string. Strum the D, G, B, and high E strings for this one. If you hit the open A string, no big deal, and you definitely don't want that low E string, so use the thumb over the top trick again for this one. minor. So to recap, we have F, A minor, G, G sus4, C major, and D minor in this song. Great, now let's learn the chord progression for the intro. Now here's how the intro works. We're going to start on F, play that for one measure, go to A minor, play that for one measure, and then another measure of F, another measure of A minor, one more of F, one more of A minor, and then on the end, 2 measures of G major. Okay? And then what you do is you play all of that again, all 8 measures one more time, but an additional 2 measures of G tacked on to the end. All right? And that's our entire introduction section. Let's listen to how that goes, and then I'll break down the strum pattern that we're going to use for this part and the rest of the song. So here's how the intro sounds now that we know how it goes. F, A minor, F, A minor, F, A minor, G, F, A minor, F, A minor, F, A minor, and then G, but for 2 more measures this time. Okay, so that's the intro. Of course, we do have that drum kind of thing at the beginning, but there's no guitar, so we're not going to worry about that. The strum pattern for this part and almost all of the song goes like this. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. That's the idea. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. However, you want to accent the upbeat of 2 so we can get this feel. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Let's listen to how that goes when we play it with, let's say, an F major chord. So the first beat, that first strum, has a natural accent already built in because it lasts longer than the other strums. So we're accenting 1 in the end of 2. That gives it a nice feel, a nice groove that we're going to use for this tune, okay? One more time, let's learn this strum pattern. I'll break it down and do just one time through that intro chord progression, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 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 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, so that's how that strum pattern goes. Let's talk about the verse now. Okay, so here's how the verse works. We're going to play A minor for 4 measures, still with that same strum pattern that we just learned. And then we go to G suspended 4th for 2 measures, and then G for 2 measures. You take that 8 measure group and you play it again. So that's the first half of the verse. The second half of the verse goes like this. We're going to play C major for 2 measures, G major for 2 measures, and then A minor for 4 measures. You take that 8 measure group, you play it again, and that's the second half. So it's kind of like A, and B, B. It makes a 32 measure verse, which is kind of long, but the way that the melody works and how the flow is, it doesn't feel as long as it actually is. So now that we know how it goes, let's listen to how it sounds. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor goes for 4 measures. And then we play G suspended 4th to G. Do that again. A minor. G sus 4. G. Here's the second half. We go to C major, G major, and then A minor. Do that again. C major goes to G major, and then A minor. Awesome. So that's the verse. Let's check out the chorus, which comes right after that. So here's how the chorus works. We're gonna play F major for 2 measures, A minor for 2 measures, and then G major for 2 measures. We take that 6 measure group and play it 3 times around. And then we do like we did on the intro and tack on another 2 measures of G. That gets us ready for the next part. So it's gonna feel kind of odd the first time going through this, since we're playing 6 measures and not 4 or 8, and we're playing it 3 times around, not 2 or 4. All right, so now that we know how it goes, let's listen to how it sounds. So starting on F, we're gonna play the same strum pattern from before. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We go to A minor, and then G, and then F, and then A minor, and then G. One more time, F, A minor, G. And then we hold on that G for 2 more measures. And then we go to an instrumental break that brings us into the second verse. So now we're in an 8 measure guitar break, right? So the lead guitar takes over. If we're still just playing chords, all we have to do is do the chord progression we saw at the beginning of the verse. A minor for 4 measures, G suspended 4th for 2 measures, and then G for 2 measures. I won't be doing that lead guitar part in this video. If you really want to see it, maybe request it in the comments and I might get around to it later. Okay, so here's what's going on after that guitar break. We're into the second verse now. The beginning of the second verse, the first time through that chord progression, you're gonna wanna lay low because the synthesizer is really the one taking over the harmony there. And then the second time through, come back in with that strum pattern and then we're in the groove, okay? Now we switch over to the next chord progression. You play C and then G and then A minor just like you did on the first time. But the second time through, we're actually gonna chop off the last 3 measures. We're gonna play C major for 2 measures, G major for 2 measures, and then A minor for 1 measure at the end of that verse. So right after that, we immediately go into the next chorus and then we're on to the rest of the song. So let's hear how you might play the second verse given all that stuff that we just talked about. So I'm still gonna play that same strum pattern we're doing, but I'm just gonna drop it way down in volume and palm mute it a little bit so we have some room at the beginning of this second verse. Then we come back in. The second half, we go to C, G, and A minor for 4, C again for 2, G again for 2, and then A minor for 1. Here we go, chorus. So the second chorus is going to be the same as the first chorus. So you know how that goes already. Let's move on to the bridge. All right, so here's how the bridge goes. We're basically playing the same chord progression from the chorus that we just did, but with a few modifications. We're gonna add a G major chord into the second measure. So it's the first time that we see 2 chords in 1 measure. Here's how it works. We're gonna play F major for 1 measure, and then F and G in the second measure, and then A minor for 2 measures, and then G major for 2 measures. That's the 6 measure group. We play it 2 times instead of 3 times, and then tack on our extra 2 measures of G major, okay? That's the bridge. We'll play it later with the outro. So instead of jumping to another chorus, we're gonna go to the outro. And here's what we do for that. We're gonna play D minor for 2 measures, and then A minor for 2 measures, and then C major for 4 measures. We play that 8 measure group 4 times. but we're going to be playing one strum per chord instead of that strum pattern we've been doing the whole time. So we just strum once per chord, let it ring for however long we need it to, 2 measures, 4 measures, and then continue to play through the chord progression until the last C chord, and then the song is done. However, I want to show you that last C chord because it's not just a regular C chord, it's actually a C/G chord. So here's what you do. On this C here, put your 3rd finger on the low E string and then add your 4th finger to the A string, fret 3. And that's that C/G chord that you play at the very end of the song. All right, let's do the whole thing. Let's play the bridge plus that outro. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the outro. D minor goes to A minor, and then C. All right, so we do that 4 times. I'll just play it one more time with that C/G chord. So this is how you end the song, with this right here. Okay, so that's the tune. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you learned how to play the song, if you liked this lesson, please hit that like button. And if you want more just like this, hit that subscribe button too. All right, my name is Shawn. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time in another lesson.